Hey guys, Ugga Dugga Bois here, and today we're going to be doing an oil change on our Gravely Pro Turn 152 commercial. And our lawnmower has a Kawasaki FX691V, and today we are going to be using some Mobil 1 full synthetic 0W40. And then we also have our oil filter here. We're using a John Deere, and the filter number here is AM125424. Now, before I start draining the oil, I'm actually going to take, as you can see right here, this is our drain line here. And to make things easier, instead of having to stick my hand here near the hot exhaust or near the engine, I'm actually going to take it and pop it right out like that. There we go. And I'm going to bring it along the side here. If you want to come along the tire. Right here, as you can see, it'll still drain nicely. And I have it at a downward angle, and now you can get your wrenches in here and hands in here, and you don't have to worry about burning yourself, so you can put the pan right there and you won't spill everywhere. And start off, got my drain pan here. I have a little piece of cardboard underneath just in case if I do spill. I got a kneeling pad, and if you look on these mowers, actually right here, this is where you do drain the oil from. So I have an 11/16 wrench and a 5/8. So I'm just going to loosen it up. The 11/16 goes on the inside bolt. You just take it. There we go. Now you just carefully unscrew it. Make sure your drain pan is underneath. Now with the final few drops coming out, I moved our drain pan here, as you can see. So we're still catching a little bit of this. There's actually a hole right underneath the filter, and it's kind of like under here a little bit somewhere. Not fully sure, but I moved this just enough so when I do loosen the filter, the oil will go into the pan and not all over the place. So if we come up top here, you can see that's our filter right there. Let's see if I'm strong enough, if I can get in there. There we go, yeah, no problem. Just loosen that boy up. As you can hear, it's draining out some oil. I want to make sure it is catching it, which it is. And then I'm going to very slowly release this. And my goal is I'm going to keep applying inwards pressure on it. And then as soon as I get it off, I'm going to want to turn it straight up. There we go, so it comes off. Turn it up so I don't make oil all over the place. I'll carefully get this out. There we go. With the old filter out now, I'm going to take our new one right here, pull this out of the box, try and make sure my hands are as clean as possible. And just to start off, first off, just want to make sure, because they are different brands, this one's a Kawasaki, this one's a John Deere, I just want to make sure you know everything looks the same, they're about the same size, that they're not different, which they look basically identical. We'll make sure this one actually screws on real nicely. And then I'm also going to check, make sure, as we can see right here, I want to make sure that seal is still on there because sometimes it may actually stick to the engine. And if you keep that seal on plus the new one, it'll actually not seal at all and you'll start leaking oil everywhere, and that's not good. So we got that one on there, so we can get rid of that one. Now just focus on the new one here. And it doesn't look dirty, no rust, anything, so that should be good to go. I'm going to take a little bit of our new oil right here. I'm going to very carefully, if I can get some, try and put some on my finger. Very carefully. I think I just turned it the wrong way. There we go. Oh, wait, no, did I? Yes, I did. There we go. It's much easier with a jug, but unfortunately all we have is this. Get rid of some of the excess. And then I'm just going to take some and just rub it on the seal. Just gives it a little bit better of a sealing surface and makes sure it does not stick. And then we're going to go throw her back on. Back in the engine, we're going to try and get our filter here back on. Unfortunately, you can't see it real well, but it goes right in there. So we're going to very carefully maneuver this in here so we don't get dirt or anything on it. Don't want to drop it either. There we go. There, I can kind of see it. Very carefully, you're going to want to thread it on. This may take a couple turns and it should go on like butter. There should be basically zero resistance. There we go, I think I got it. Yep, so give it a little tug. As you can see, that goes on beautifully, so that means it fits, the threads match. And then I'm gonna take it, keep tightening it. And really, you don't have to get these things any more than hand tight. So I'm just gonna give it a few more good turns. And that should be good. And once we do have it full of oil, we'll start it up just real quick, make sure that does not leak at all before we put any heavy use on it. And there we go, the oil filter set to go. Now time to put the plug in and fill her up. Now I'm gonna take our drain plug here, and I have some clean paper towel. And I am just gonna very quickly give it a little clean, so then we don't have any dirt on the plug that we put back in the engine. Just a little clean around here, make sure I don't get any paper towel stuck inside. And we'll get her threaded on. Very carefully, there we go, once gone. It should go in very easily. Hand tighten it down. Take our wrenches again. And we'll give her just a nice little tighten. There we go, we should be set to go. Since we now have the drain plug in, if you want to come over top, as you can see, just gonna make sure that we hook her back in. Should pop right in, there we go. Just to make sure that it doesn't hit on the exhaust or get caught on anything, so we want to make sure that gets hooked back in. We're set to fill it up. Finally, it's time to put our oil in. So I'm gonna take our dipstick here and take this out, set it aside on a clean piece of paper towel. Now I have my funnel here. Once again, I'm gonna just take a piece of paper towel and just clean it up just to make sure, once again, I'm not putting any oil directly into the engine, or any dirt. You don't want to put oil in. Don't want to put any dirt directly into the engine. There we go. Put this in there. Now with my box of oil, I'm gonna very carefully try and put this in. And this takes, I believe it's about 2.2 quarts, and that is with the oil filter in there. Unfortunately, as you can see, I'm using a box, so I can't put like 2 quarts in. We'll guesstimate this, and then we'll try and get in the safe zone. And we'll start her up just to make sure that the oil filter and everything is full and that we get an accurate reading. Now, I've put about 2 quarts in, I'm not fully sure. So I'm gonna take my funnel set to the side on some clean paper towel just so that stays clean. I'm gonna take my dipstick, make sure that's all clean. And this actually in here says, for correct oil level, do not turn cap on threads. Some you do have to turn it down, but this one, you actually just set it on top. Pull it out. And as you can see on there, that was actually a very good guess the first time. I'm basically at the full line. And I will take that for now. So next step, I'm gonna tighten this down. And we'll start her, just build some oil pressure in the system, get the filter all full, and I'll check it again to make sure that's good to be ran. Now I'm gonna start her up, and when I do start her, I'm just gonna make sure, obviously I want the brake and everything on, make sure the blades don't turn on. And then when I do start it, I'm gonna check, just make sure there's no leaks coming from anything, because I don't want to run it out of the oil. So basically, the dipstick should be fine, but I want to make sure it's not leaking from the oil filter at all, or from the drain. So fire her up. There we go. And there is a little bit of oil in there. You might see that down there. That was from when I took the filter off. But from what I can see while she was running, there's nothing leaking from the filter, nothing leaking from the drain valve or anything. So we should be set to go. So I'm gonna do one final check now that oil is all through the system, and she should be set to go. All right, once again, just gonna pull this off, clean it all up again. Oh. There we go. So now as you can see, it actually went down before I was at the full mark. Now I'm at about 3/4. You can see real nice there. And I will take that. That's good for me. So now we'll be set to go. We can use her. And then we'll just make sure that we do check the oil every once in a while just to make sure that it is full. And that doesn't need any more oil changes. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and happy mowing.